Hey friends, welcome to the Mad Painter Show. Ever had that hot and heavy feeling where you're fire and desire with another person and you're up on a high? Everything is like sunshiny bright and you just feel super good until you don't. And you fall flat on your face and wondering like, well, what the heck happened? I thought we had this groove thing happen. I thought this was mutual. And you're just left there waiting for that high again, waiting for it to just, those butterflies getting a going. Friend, that's lust. And all while we're thinking that this is love, we're running into the arms of lust when we should be running away from it and into the arms of love. But friend, that's not love. That's a Decepticon. So here in the Bible, a lot of people assume that it doesn't discuss about friendships, family, situationships, businesses, etc., etc., etc. But friend, I tell you the truth, it does. So we have here in 2 Timothy 2:22, flee also youthful lust. Now, I just read part of this, but I needed some time to think about it. Like, why youthful lust? Because when you young and that thing hot, you just trying to get up in everything. And it's just like, oh, I love this feeling. I just want you and I want you and I want you. Well, we're a little bit older now, friends. Well, at least some of us listen to this. Some of us are still in our youth, but it's still, even if you young playboy and playgirl, flee it. And I'm about to tell you why. Because when we run into the arms of lust, friend, it's gonna burn us up, and we be all confused and all. It's because it's like an addiction. And see, so love has a different type of thing, and it guarantees you that it's always gonna be there. So we look at Solomon, right, and how Solomon is super wise. But what I paid attention to, especially the brothers. No offense, brothers, I love y'all, but especially the brothers. Brothers, I want y'all to look at Solomon now, because a lot of the times when people are talking about Solomon and his wisdom, they discuss him being in the apex of his own pride. And brother, that ain't no good. This man had 1,000 women. 1,000 women. I really don't think that you think about that like on a for real form, in a for real type of thing. But here he is that he had 1,000 women, but he did not love any of them. He didn't have love. But there was a point in his life where he did have some type of love. And it was in the Song of Solomon. And I'm just going to say what Solomon said, Mad Painter style. If you ain't ready for love, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Now, we're talking about this as far as relationship. And friends, a lot of times when we think we ready for love and we running for lust, that ain't it, because we don't know what love is. So this is a preparation thing, because I'm looking at this as a wisdom that Solomon was given when he had some understanding of love. And it was in a connection with wisdom, because he had an understanding. This I'm looking at this on the outside. When you're not ready for somebody who's like a loving person, leave that person alone. And if you feel like that's the one, prepare for that person. But at the same time, how are we going about preparing even for loving ourselves? We go with God and in connection with God. So let's look at, because God is love. So let's look at wisdom and Solomon and his wisdom. In the Song of Solomon, I feel like he's speaking of wisdom because there was a love there. But then when he got to the apex of his pride and he had all these women, friend, you got to think about how distracting that is. It's extremely distracting. And I mean, brothers on the flesh level looking like, boy, look at all this goodness I got happening right here. Have you been with one disgruntled woman? Imagine 1,000 of them, because you getting on their daggone nerves because you don't know how to love them. So here in looking at wisdom, when we take some time to look at wisdom, friend, wisdom has a way of talking to us. So I'm going to continue on with this scripture. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So when we're chasing after lust, do you know our hearts aren't pure? Because, okay, so we looking at this whole thing as far as getting busy and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's a sin because it becomes a distraction. But the real thing about it is that it gets us not believing God. And it also distracts us. It takes us from hearing God because we're too busy hearing whatever that is that's happening down there. That's like, hey, I need to be satisfied right now. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Now, friend, we're having this talk because I mean, I get this video may be playing like years or whatever later, but you know, if you're watching this presently, there's this pressure like, oh, I need to be loved, I want to have this, I need to have somebody there with me, or you know, I don't want to just have a girl voice, you know, just because there's some dude out there that's like, you know, I got to have me a little boo thing, you know, get this little celebration on with the chocolates and friend. This is a time where I mean, if you single, I don't know if you did, but this is also in recovery from a toxic relationship because a lot of times when we want that comfortability, this is how we run back to the arms of lust. So we have to look at this thing because I often talk about being real with yourself. Friend, when, okay, so let's look at self, right? So let's just say someone is coming up and ooh, they smelling good, they looking all sexy, friend. This is an opportunity for you to pay attention to your own feelings, self-awareness. How are you feeling? What are you feeling? And where are you feeling it? And be for real with yourself, friend. The other thing about this whole lust situation, you know, as far as energy, what I've paid attention to is that people have a way of projecting energy. That that doesn't just work with anger and all that other stuff. It also works with lust. So when you're thinking you're feeling a certain someone, I'm gonna need you to start checking yourself like, do I really like them or am I just picking up something? Or you know, it's time to start checking these things instead of just going with the flow and being real with yourself. So the other part about this, because we friends, right? We friends. When them pressures get to coming, this is when we start talking to God as a friend. Now, friend, I get when it first starts off, it's like super hard because you're used to that life. You're used to that life. So that life is going to be calling you all the time, especially when you're trying to get away from it. But friend, so this is where we get to like environments and stuff like that. It may not necessarily be an old person that you know. You may be out there dating. You may be out there seeing people. Friend, in connection with this fleeing youthful lust, okay? We have to look at how are we putting ourselves in these situations. Think about environment. Think about setup. Think about music. Think about, so like when you watch those movies and stuff and the scene getting ready to come up where they about to get intimate. Yeah, think about that. Think about, is this seeming like one of them scenes? And even if you're planning on going somewhere, you have to question and consider, what does the atmosphere look like? Is this something that's going to get me feeling some type of way? Is this something that I'm about to drink that's going to have me loosening up some and feeling some type of way? Friend, if you're not trying to be loosey-goosey, check yourself. Learn how to say no. And you know the best way of learning how to say no is learning how to say no to yourself. Baby, when you learn how to say no to you, baby, you can say no to anybody else because you've learned discipline and learning how to say no to yourself. So, we get into this situation with Solomon, right? And so, Solomon was wise. He definitely was wise. But at that time, when he had all them women's and all that stuff going on, that was in his own wisdom. Solomon was leaning on his own understanding. And this is why we want to learn from our brothers and sisters from the Bible, because a lot of times we can see our own ways and how they're going about doing stuff. We want to read this thing and start including God in on the stuff that we're reading. Friend, I'm not going to even lie to you. I got to get my coffee. Now, let's just say you are being real with yourself and you know that this is something that you want to do. You know you want to do it. Friend, I'm going to tell you now, take God with you. Take God with you. I don't care if you're getting ready to go to the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Take God with you. I know you may not always hear that often, but friend, I'm talking to you like a friend. You take him with you. Because anytime something in your spirit is talking to you and telling you, or you may not want to go there. You know, you listen to that. Take, friend. So what I've looked at, it's like this lust situation thing, right? It's an illusion. It looks good. So let's reflect on our past lust situation. Whether you went all in or not, but still it was something up in there that was like, I'm okay. Let's look at that. It started off as one thing and it seemed like something, but then it turned out to be something else. And it was like, I wish I'd have never just went on about my business. Just didn't even entertain that. So let's reflect on our past mistakes, our past situations, our past when we ran to lust instead of fleeing it. Because friend, so it may be hard when we run away from it because it's like, oh, that itch is itching right now, and that person is the only person that could scratch it, and then that's the only person that can also give you some stuff that will give you an itch that you really can't get rid of. So this is a no judgment zone, and this is one of those things, friend. Take God with you. Include God in on everything. This, wherever you are in this, you can be just getting started, you can be in the middle of this, wherever this is. When we get to a point of this relationship with God, it changes the relationship with everybody else. Now, it's not a thing where you're looking at, and you're going out on a date and you bringing your scriptures, brother, sister, Proverbs such and such and such and such is saying thou shalt do this and that. No, but you're actually being the word. So when we in this relationship with God, God has a way of transforming us. And transforming us in such a way, it makes us different. It makes our desires different. And it makes us see things different. But you have to be willing to be transformed. Friend, you got to start from somewhere. Now, friend, I ain't even about to get into my lifelong stories and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? But I had a hard time. At first I did. But once I started to looking at a thing like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of playing games. I'm tired. I mean, if I'm just going to be doing all this, and I might as well invest it in a real relationship. And that's where the whole preparation thing came in at. But when the real relationship, if you find, okay, my mind is just going super fast. Here in this relationship, God is an unseen entity, so to speak. But once you get to know him intimately, you find out you're getting to know the inside of God, like how he thinks, where his heart, how his heart is. Do you realize, friend, when you really get to know somebody, that's when you find out if you really like them or love them? So be patient with these things. When you find out you're highly attracted to somebody, and I mean that attraction is going on unto levels, try not to Netflix and chill. Don't let that be the first place. Try not to put yourself in a place where you're going to want to get closer, where it's a pressure to do so. Because friend, anytime you're feeling that pressure, it's especially if you're feeling that pressure before you're in an enclosed space, don't even go to that enclosed space, because if you know that you're going to get weak, you know what? Just don't even go there. Just, you know what? I'm going to have to talk to you later. We're just going to have to maybe not do this date or something, but learn and pay attention to your weaknesses, what it is where where you're willing to, well, I'll allow this. No, no, no. Learn to tell yourself no. And the more that you get to know God, the more that you get to know love, the more you will see people better, their quality, their value, how they value themselves and how they see you. So then no matter what the package is looking like, you won't just be all caught up like, oh, do you see the bling on that package? When inside of it, it's a whole bunch of poo-poo. Okay, friends? So we're fleeing and run away from lust and into the arms of love, including God on everything and taking time to listen to him. I love you guys. God loves you even more. Find out why. Sit down, listen to him, have a little chit chat and experience him. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.